Hello and welcome to a new video of the GoonerAFC Info YouTube channel. Today I would like to take a look at the game against Port Vale yesterday in the Cup, and also kind of review the first part of the season 25-26 to kind of get an overview of where we are and what has happened so far. So yeah, we're six game in total. And that's why I would like to check in and yeah, give a little bit my opinion on what I've seen so far and what my impression is. But let's first start with the game yesterday. We played away against Port Vale in the Cup. It wasn't an amazing game, to be honest, but we got a win in the end, so we won 2-0. So that's definitely a positive thing to start with. We started very well the game. After 8 or 9 minutes, we already scored the goal, and the positive part about it was that it was Eberici Ezi who scored his first goal for the club, which was obviously very positive and bodes well, and hopefully makes him feel even more not welcome, but makes him feel that he has settled in quickly, even though he has looked well the couple of times that I've seen him so far playing for the club. So that's very cool. Another positive thing was Waneri. I think he looked pretty lively in the midfield. He tried to ask for the ball, carry it, and play good passes into the final third. But since we were rather defensively organized and did not go forward that much, there was not too many options that we that he had to play the ball through. But anyway, still a good game for him. I think that bodes well. Another positive thing was that we didn't get any extra injuries. Even though Saka got a knock, and then afterwards he was replaced by Dauman, which I think also showed a couple of bright spots and had a wonderful direct pass to Victor Gyökeres at some point late in the game, where Gyökeres probably could have done better, but at least the run was good. And also he wasn't offside, so that was nice. Maybe he was hitting it very hard towards the keeper. Maybe he could have chipped it or bent it around the goalkeeper. But anyway, the runs were good, and also I think he did a couple of good hold up play at some point when he noticed right after coming on for Marino. He noticed that the game was played mainly in like through the around the back on our side, and then that's when he started to ask for the ball and let himself fall a little bit back, more further back to the center of the field, and there he did a couple of good layoffs, even though he wasn't fed many good other balls. So yeah, regular game, not amazing game for him, but still he keeps showing a couple of good signs, and also the work ethic is unquestionable. So these are definitely two good facts. So we're through to the next round. Looking forward to this one. We're still in this competition. Okay, let's have a look at the season in general. So far, I think it's been a patchy one so far. Um, let's start at the beginning, or even before we started playing with the transfer season or the transfer window, which I think we had a very good one, at least on the buying side. We've brought in very good players, very promising players, very quality players, and we definitely have a very good squad depth now. On the other hand, we're not very good at selling players. We barely made any money from player sales, except maybe like players like Nuno Tavares for a very low fee. Otherwise, we got a couple of players still out on loan in the past, in the last few hours or days of the window. At least we're gonna save on some wages, but still we need to probably work on our selling strategies. We've never been a good selling club like other clubs such as maybe the Chelseas or whatever they're called, the Man Cities as well. With I'm thinking of Julian Alvarez, for instance. So we definitely need to work on this. But anyway, at least on I guess this window, our focus was on the buying side, and there Andrea Berta and company did a very very good job. So where does this leave us? As I said, we have played 5 games. In the meantime, we have one like 5 league games. I have to stress. So we have had 3 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. We played against Athletic Bilbao in the Champions League. We won 2-0 at the Summer Mess, and we just won against Port Vale yesterday. So 7 games in total. Um, 5 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss. We scored 14 goals and we conceded 2 so far. Um, how does it look otherwise? I mean, we had a win in the Champions League, as I had said, against Athletic Bilbao, which was also a hard fought one. They did not make it easy for us. They were quite physical. They had been back in the Champions League after quite a few years. They didn't play super well, but they made it difficult for us. It was a difficult game, but in the end we came up on top, which is probably a positive as well. Similar to the cup game, to be honest. So as a whole, as a review, like how do we look so far? Our defense looks still rock solid. We're very good in the back, not even with our starting players, but also with the other replacement finisher substitute players, whatever you want to call them. So it takes a lot to score against us, and it doesn't matter whether Calafiori or Luis Kelly is playing left defense. It doesn't matter whether we have White or Timber in the right defensive spot. It doesn't matter whether Saliba or Mosquera are playing in the central defense. We're very 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 solid in the back. That's definitely a positive, and we definitely want to keep it like this. Something else that is very very positive is that we actually now do have the squad depth to kind of cover for any injuries or absences in any way, and this has already paid off. We saw that, for instance, Nani Maduyaki could replace Saka when he was injured. We saw that, as I had already mentioned, that Mosquera could fit in for Saliba in the defense. We have Gyökeres, who is now our obviously main striker, since Havertz is out and Jesus is not there, so we have cover there as well. So that's very positive. Um, I do see a couple of negative or concerning points. One of them definitely is that we do have these many injuries. I mean, we're 7 games in, and I think somebody said 9 injuries. I see 5 or 6 bigger ones. We had Saka, who has already been off for a month. We have Odegaard 2 or 3 times with his shoulder. We had Saliba for a short spell out. We have Madueke out now. Thank God now that Saka is back. We have Jesus still off until probably the end of the year, beginning of next year. We have Havertz with a long-term injury, and so on and so forth. So the list is already pretty long. I know Havertz sustained his injury already towards the end, well, at the very, very beginning of the season. But anyway, there's loads of injuries going on, so maybe the medical team wants to have a look and see how they maybe can improve recoveries or even prevent injuries in the first place. What else did we observe? And obviously I'm not the only one, but I think I think it's a fact that we still have very little flow in the attack. It's a little bit strange to me. 2 or 3 years ago, we had a spell during half a season, a couple of months, where we were playing scintillating football, very, very flowing. We scored many goals. We were super dangerous, and we tore defenses apart. I don't know what has happened, and I don't know why exactly it has happened. I know there's a lot going into these tactics. I know that depending on how you play in the attack, it also affects obviously how you defend, because that's where the defense actually starts. So there must be something in there that Arteta and his team have seen and decided that they want to have more control, because that's where, well, football in general, and especially in the Premier League and with Arsenal, is going, that you want to be able to basically control every single action of the game. Um, eh, doesn't matter whether I think it's a nice thing or not. It's what's happening, and that's what makes creativity. Or it makes it more difficult for players with creativity, such as the Daumans, the Waneris, the Azes, and so on, to kind of show their free flowing, creative, natural football that we as fans probably would prefer to see. So I really hope that we kind of groove ourselves in with a couple of new players and also with the tactics, and that this will shape up slightly differently in the next couple of weeks and months. And that also leads me to my last point. It really feels like that Arteta is resorting to this very, very cautious managing style also this season, where everything is about control and prediction and formation, which probably has its upsides. It must have, otherwise he wouldn't be doing it. But obviously it takes a toll on our attack and yeah, way of how we play football, which is kind of a pity. So if we have a look at how the season could pan out, probably two ways how it could go. Either, as I had alluded to before or mentioned, we groove in and we start to see some more free flowing attack. And we can kind of grow into the season. Maybe Arteta will try to play at some point at a slightly more offensive midfield, because what he has done so far, when he wasn't sure in games such as Liverpool, in games such as Bilbao, he basically put the more defensive of our midfielders onto the pitch, and obviously this creates. Or it has an effect on our on the way of how we play in the attack. So if we see a lot of the time the Subimendi, Rice, Marino combination in midfield, this might give you an indication of how Arteta wants to play, where his focus lies, which is probably to have the control in the midfield. And sometimes it would be nice to see a Wanieri and Odegaard, and maybe even as in the 10, because as we have seen, for instance, in the second half of the City game, it changes up quite a lot of things. So I really hope we go for it. I think it was Thierry Henry who said something very interesting, which I completely agree with, where he said there's a difference between playing a game and trying not to lose it, and playing a game and trying to win it. The attitude is completely different. The way you play is completely different. And I think if we really want to go for the title, we need to go and try to get it. And if we then fail, well, at least we can say we've tried it, and we have taken to the game to our opponents. So hopefully that's the part that's how it will pan out, and that's how it will happen, that we start to grow into the season. Or if this does not happen, it will probably be another season like the last one and the one before, where we do concede few goals, but we do not really play this inspiring football. Um, like we have done in the past, and that's probably the most frustrating part, that we have actually seen that it is indeed possible to play this great attacking, scintillating football, and it's going to be very, very controlled and not as exciting games. So let's see what happens. I hope it's going to be the first one. You still, I mean, if you look on the sheet and statistics, I mean, 2 goals conceded, 14 scored, only 1 loss in the season so far. It doesn't look that bad. I mean, It's crazy that now in 2025 we are complaining about this type of statistics after 7 games. Imagine 5 6 years ago when we were coming in eighth and we lost in the first, second, third round of the cup competitions, and where we are now. So there's definitely a big development that has happened. I'm very happy that we are in the position that we are. I would really like to again, for people to have a little bit more, or our fan community mainly, to have a little bit more patience and not draw any conclusions after every game. So if we play half a game in one formation, it doesn't mean that Arteta is going to play like this in a defensive or controlled style for the whole season. If we win a game, it doesn't mean that we're going to crush now everyone and win the title by 10 points difference. So let's just put everything into perspective. Let's take game by game. Let's check the tendencies and the developments, and hopefully everything comes good. We have a great squad. We have amazing players. We barely have any weaknesses left. Our manager is one of the best ones in the league. We'll find out whether he can take us to the holy grail. Um, but in general we're still in a pretty good position. Hopefully we keep the injuries under control. Hopefully players start coming back and then they can play over a longer spell in the team, so that we do get into a flow, or that the probability is higher, and then I still have high hopes for a good season. So thank you very much for watching. Come on, you Gunners, stay strong, and yeah, let's take game by game, and then hopefully we can make this a great season. All right, have a good one. Speak to you soon. Cheers. Bye.